Hump day. It's the doc, John Macaroon. Daily doc. After training camp, today was really one of those days that you relish when you cover sports. Professional, quick, in and out. Dan Campbell had a non-padded practice, and there's still a lot of takeaways. A lot of things happened today on Wednesday. And right now, your favorite local radio station's broadcasting a Tigers game. So we'll bring you some infotainment, some information regarding what happened. I was there talking to the fans. Shout out to Dustin Smith. Went out there and said hello. We had an in-depth conversation. Got to see him out there talking ball, talking about the Lions, expectations, schedule. That's what I enjoy. There was a special teams period, so he knew. He's a follower from Woodward Sports and Crunch Time Sports. He knows Doc can chill out during special teams. Dustin, thank you. The chat meant a lot to me. It really did. That's the purpose, is to talk ball one-on-one, have a good time out there. Thank you to the handful that said hello. It was awesome. Right to it. Yesterday was a day I talked about myself. Today we get after it. There are some things that went down that are concerning. Now, again, because it's a pattern, you would expect after a bad practice, the offense to step up. No, they did not. Not today. Today, the defense, again, dominant. Sloppy from the offense. Sloppy all the way around from the offensive line. Hutchinson versus Gio Menu is not fair. Simple as that. You can surmise where some of the areas of weakness were. Pressures galore, drops, non-touchdowns, non-situational wins for the offense. Or you'd say the situations that occurred did not favor the offense. And then there was so much that happened off the field while we were covering practice. Brad Holmes spoke, and we're going to talk all about it. A former Lion who hasn't been back in 10 years showed up. Dan Campbell let out something that he's looking for from a first-round pick. You don't typically hear that. What does it mean? The contract of Alex Anzalone, Aiden Hutchinson, Zadarius Smith. We're going to get after it. Drop your questions. We can go all over the place, but I know you want to know my first thoughts about what happened at practice. So we'll get you the steak right away. And we'll mix in comments, questions, whatever you need. Super chats get sent right to the front of the line. But we got a lot to get to today. Today's serious business. Yesterday was more lighthearted because it was an off day. Today, you guys want the steak. I'll give you the steak. Definitely give you what you guys want. The offense stunk. And that was, if you're a fan of offense, at this point in time, I love defense. But at some point, you want the offense to kick it into gear. Show me something. Here's what happened. Drops from J-Mo, multiple. Amon-Ra St. Brown had a drop. Goff trying to connect deep with his guys. Not happening. DJ Reed covering the offense. Now, I'm taking the stance of being mad at the offense. Listen, I love the fact that the defense is out there. I love the fact that Kelvin Shepard's barking and getting after it every rep. Getting the guys in position, getting them moving, getting them to the right spot pressure, taking advantage of number 59. It's pretty clear. Where's 59? Let's pressure him. Let's get after it. The offense was terrible. The offense was not up to par from a coaching perspective. And in any capacity, if you're a fan of the Detroit Lions, that practice stunk for the offense. Where's the passion? Where's Jared Goff? Where's the competitiveness? The running backs came to work. Jahmyr Gibbs making plays. But that was a ho-hum effort from the offense, from my perspective. When you got the defense breathing down your neck, punch back. Where was the spark? The spark was not there. The spark was on defense. The spark was from the defensive backs getting after it. Bumping and being around the football. DJ Reed, step for step with the Lions wide receivers. Dan Campbell was asked about it because it's pretty clear. The offense was not playing well. The offense was not playing well the last couple of days. And he believes it's one play here, one play, one assignment here, one assignment there. It seems to be a little bit more. And clearly you would surmise part of it starting with the offensive line. Giovanni Menu had to step up and play left tackle today. That especially did not go particularly well. He's very far away. If something happens, he's not the first option at left tackle. Clear as day. It's one of those things that it could be one practice away. It could be a sign of some things, but that's where it's at today. Goff threw into double coverage. DJ Reed should have had a pick. The ball went through his hands. The end of the game situation, key fourth down. Goff zips it to an open JMO. It just gets to his hands, shoulder, boom. It ricocheted so far. Avonte Maddox got the pick. It ricocheted so fast that my brain said, "Oh, it hit off his pad." Well, they weren't wearing pads. It hit off his shoulder. It was like hands, boom. It just went through so fast. Brian Branch smelling the chum in the water when Jameson's in the middle. Crossing pattern didn't connect. My goodness, it's one of those deals where the defense understands they're coming to work and the offense is not playing well. You know, the situations that you would expect the offense to get after it, they did not. It was just sloppy. That's just the way it is. And fans were there. So you can't say, well, Doc is just framing it this way and there's a narrative. The fans saw it. They were barely any cheers. Heck, I could have been the one doing the loudest cheers. There was no vibe at Allen Park today. Heck, next time, shout out the defense. But there was a professional vibe all the way around. Heck, you guys could have heard my conversation with Dustin. That's how quiet it was. Because the offense didn't give them that much to cheer about. For today, that's the way it went. It was sloppy. It was, in essence, it just felt like the defense now is starting to get into the heads of the offense. They're around the football. They're delivering intensity, and the Lions offense didn't match it. Why not? What happened? Who is the Ahmed Hassanin of the offense right now? It's probably St. Brown, but when he drops the ball, that's not a good sign. Not a good sign. Man, there was so much to talk about too. Dan and Brad contradicted each other today. First time publicly, they said opposite things. Well, sort of. The way in which it was said, you can easily understand what it meant in terms of Tyleik Williams' football shape. Dan said something publicly into the microphone I've never thought he'd say. He said it. That means he wants it done. Oh, my goodness. Rookie, you're on alert. 91. The media was comparing him to me. That's not good. Oh, my goodness. It's good to see you too, Steven. Hey, Doc, good to see you today. I think that people get the narrative wrong on Hendon Hooker with Teddy coming in for the playoffs last year. Last year was basically his rookie year. Steven, Brad Holmes addressed that today. He said, look, Hendon hasn't played in the playoffs. It's common sense, guys. Football is not really all that sophisticated. And today, I'm not going to brag per se, but a lot of these times you see me in these interviews, I'm hitting the beats. Now, I might have the finer details wrong, but I was right about Aiden not getting his contract yet because of the fact that he's waiting to negotiate. I presume he's going to get it, but not before Micah or Trey Hendrickson. He's waiting. I was right that Zadarius Smith doesn't want to come to camp when he can hang out on a boat. Why would he come to camp? There's negotiating leverage that Aiden has and that Zadarius Smith has. I told you. I went to the source. I said, hey, TJ Lang, who's going to start at center? TJ told me directly at Lions on SI, it would be Graham. Coaches love veterans. And that's what Brad Holmes said. Now, where I was wrong, I thought they would take care of Alex Anzalone. Nope. Brad dropped the long in the tooth line. Oh, my goodness. Brad's like, this is what it is. And I talked to Alex Anzalone today, asked him directly about his contract. And he gives you that laugh like, come on, man. You know what the way I would describe it with Alex is, he's saying, you know, Doc, what I want to say, but you also know I'm not going to say it with all these cameras in my face, Doc. That's the look he gives me. And it's funny, too. I thanked him for his honesty. But Clearly, he's happy for a raise, but not happy with his deal. But he laughs about it, and it is what it is. We're going to talk all about it. Hit the questions. Any super chat gets to the front of the line. Motor City Kitty, absolutely. It's real. That's what I saw. The fans saw it. They're not going to go out there and say, oh, I like that. I like seeing Amon-Ra St. Brown drop the ball. I like seeing JMO drop the ball yesterday and today. Let's go. Time to step it up. Where's the competitiveness? Where's the, hey, this today from the offense felt like, please get us to 10:30. We want to get off the field. That's what it felt like. And the defense was like, we're here to destroy you guys. We're here to embarrass you. That's what it looked like. That's what it felt like. The intensity was a notch above from the defense. Who's going to step it up on the offense moving forward? What happened? You don't expect that. You don't expect the connection with Laporta and St. Brown to be so difficult. All I can say is this. If I'm writing I'm impressed by TK85, something's wrong. No disrespect. Something's wrong. TK85 was on the first team in the situational period. What the heck? Was that a message sent? What? If TK85 is on the first team, you know what the state of the offense is. Absolutely, Steven. Doc speaks the truth. Or as I see it. Or as I react to it. My goodness. And plus, I go out there and I look at it from the coaching perspective. I want crispness. I want perfection. You're never going to get it. But I had a nice vantage point. I was away from everybody, all the noise. I had one little conversation with Dustin, but I was locked in on the offensive line, defensive line, what I was seeing, writing all the numbers down, getting everything situated. First team offensive line, second team offensive line, and got it all together for you guys in my observations. You can go read them right now. Detroit Lions on SI. You know who was there, who wasn't. You know what happened, and now you'll get the visual representation of what happened. Corey gets in there. Gets in here. Just got in. What happened out there, Doc? The offense stunk. And it upset me. Didn't want to see that. It was bad. Saif. I don't know. I didn't see him get hurt per se. He didn't walk in with medical staff. I don't know. I can't speculate. We had no updates, but he did. In my report, you can see who was there, who wasn't. He did not finish practice. I think at the start, he walked in. We all saw him walk in, but we had no official update. So I didn't tweet it. But yeah, he didn't finish practice. I don't know. In the end, he wasn't going to participate a whole heck of a lot this week anyway. But that would have improved things if Tim Patrick was out there. So remember, Doc has the insider information, gives it to you as he sees it. And I've hit on a lot of things. There was no way that Aiden Hutchinson was finalizing his contract. Stop DMing me. I will tell you. I'll message on X if I feel like it's getting close. I don't know who put that out there. Maybe based on reports or accounts with animals in their names. He was not finalizing a contract. That's just globalized assessment. Like, yeah, Aiden is a coveted member of the team and they like him. They want to get him done. That's what Brad said today. You could just listen to that and say, oh, the Lions are interested in getting Aiden a contract. But they use the word finalizing. No, they're not. That was never happening. And if it was happening, then I would walk into the representation of Aiden Hutchinson and be like, what the heck are you doing? You have cost yourself millions. You should be the highest paid. You should wait. So let's start with that. The offense was sloppy. It was not to the degree in which you guys would like. I felt like Derek Barnes coming in on a free blitz is a nightmare for the offensive line. Hutchinson was there right away. And so here's the thing. Hutchinson wasn't full on tackling the Lions running backs, but basically you could see it clearly. He was tapping them on the shoulder because he was there. That's how fast he would get back there. So it was a pressure-filled defense. Aiden Hutchinson just disrupting everything. It was rough. Woo! So the meat of the day, look, there was a lot of early reps and a lot of runs to start practice. And those are normal. You see Jameer and David bounce out. They have their power runs. They work through. But this was not a full-on tackling situation. Like a lot of times in some of the reps, the receivers were allowed to get into the end zone. Again, this was not a full-out knock them out, drag them out practice. This was, hey, competitive, but, reasonable professional day. But here's the start of the situation that was most important in our notes. Lions down 10, all 3 timeouts, 3:41 on the clock. Starts with St. Brown dropping the ball. Oh, my goodness. And then the crowd right there on the side could see it. They're like, oh. And it's so true. The level of standard is so high for the Detroit Lions that when Amon-Ra drops the ball, the crowd it's like he took 4 penalties. It's like, oh, no, he dropped the ball? Yes, he did. Just a fan. Lions still have 1 month to figure it out. Yeah, it's still early, but this is where we're at today. We can't project 1 month ahead. I project till right now at 2:16. You probably got me till around 3:30 today. So we'll talk about it in depth. If you have questions, we'll get after it. We got a lot to get to in terms of the outside stuff too. On the field, it was quick paced. I liked it. A lot of situational type stuff, a couple special teams period, but then the period I'm talking about right now. And you guys tell me, how worried are you about the offensive line as Corey gets in? Yeah, I worry about the offensive line a bit. How much are you guys worried? Oh, my goodness. Amon-Ra, and then it's 4th down, money time, baby. Money time, you know where to go to. And Goff in early periods was trying to get the ball deep to J-Mo and others, and it just wasn't working in the earlier periods. Now in a competitive period, crossing route, 4th down, drop. Uh-oh. So the drive technically ended. And also, too, you can get context, too. You can thank me with a super chat. The professional nature of this. Like this stream. Help us keep growing. Help the people that are watching me currently behind the scenes who are investigating if they want to hang out with the doc more. Thank you for peeking in. It's fun. Like, subscribe, comment. I appreciate those that are like, we're going to watch you. We like your flow. We like your energy. You're the one getting after it every single day. Every single day since camp started, getting the inside nugget from the doc. 4th down, key play, J-Mo drop. That should have ended the drive. But Dan needs the practice, so it's tough because you're like, wait a minute, it's 4th down, just get off the field. I would have made him get off the field. But they had to stay out there. I was like, I don't want him anymore. By that point, the offense was so bad, I was like, I don't want to see this anymore. Let's see Hendon Hooker. Oh, my goodness. But let's reset the chains. They need more work. So what's the next play that happens? They decide that it's probably the offensive line felt the need that 31 should be unchecked on a blitz. My notes were 31 blitz, no coverage. But the play, because Kirby Joseph would not have been allowed to light up Jared Goff, was a pass to Amon-Ra St. Brown that was completed. But it was officially a sack. And it was funny, the media walked by me that because I was standing on the side, along the side there where you get all the autographs. I stayed there. I didn't go by the shade. I just wanted to watch from the side, the closest angle I could see the board of the situation, the 1st down play, the 2nd down play. I got the best vantage point I felt. But 31, unguarded on a blitz. You might want to check the safeties if they're coming on a blitz. Hello? Identify the blitz. Untouched. Good job, Kirby. Good job, Kelvin. Alex would have gotten a sack with pressure. Aiden blew past Gibbs. That would have been another. The media kept going by and going, Doc, have you documented like 15 sacks? I'm like, far too many, man. Far too many. I'm like, I don't know. I think I missed them all. I think every time I blink, there's a sack. You know it's bad when the media is coming by me as they're coming back from the end zone going, how many sacks are you recording? I'm like, good Lord, it's a lot. Sack, sack, sack. And it stinks too because, you know, the plays are allowed to continue when, it gets a little confusing, but you knew these were clear cut. Anzalone had a sack coming in free. Man, that was wild. So Amon-Ra got the touchdown in front of DJ Reed, but clearly the defense won that. They just let it happen. You know what I mean? It was one of those deals where the defense knew they just took advantage. And this was down 10. So the idea was, okay, St. Brown scores the idealistic touchdown, which never really happened. But now the Lions have the ball down 3. Back at it. More Lions offense. Can they get back at it with 56 seconds and no timeouts? Because the situation is the Lions were down 10. They get the ceremonial touchdown, which never happened. But theoretically, for the purpose of the practice, the Lions got the touchdown. They're down 3. Oh, nope. More Derek Barnes, more Aiden Hutchinson. That's when that drive ended, and that was the interception. So that whole situation period was trash for the offense. Yes, you can. You can judge. They're still blocking. You can really judge it. Oh, because someone was definitely not happy. You have to have an assignment. You have to have an awareness of who's coming in. So I'll say this, Tony, can't really judge the O-line or D-line when they're going no pads. Yes, you can. They're going to be like, what the heck? You don't recognize 31 untouched? Dropping the ball? Those are effort plays. Those are recognition. Those are mental errors. So yes, you can judge it. Don't come with that. What do you think? You know what? It's going to be great. I presume Tony's a coach. He walks in. All right, guys, let's turn on the film. Oh, there were no pads today. Let's just go home, eat some chicken. Let's go get some fried foods. Let's just hang out. We're not going to study anything. Let's go get some smoothies. Let's go hang out in the lab. We're not going to study it. We're not going to process it. Tony Martinez thinks, we can't judge this. Let's not study it. Yes, you can. It was a practice. They will adjust it, and they'll get. And the defense will definitely get the kudos, and the offense is not going to be happy this afternoon for today. And we're talking about today. Now, I'm not going to extrapolate what this means because, again, it's a practice, and this is where you're supposed to make mistakes. But you would expect a lot of people to step it up. One bad practice, you expect the offense to kind of step it up and compete on a team that's competitive. Nope. Tony Martinez is in. He's fanboying out. Let's go to Chick-fil-A, guys. No need to do film work. Tony's cool with this awful offensive performance today. Come on, guys. And no one said panic. We're reacting to what's going on today. If I'm a competitor and I'm an offensive leader, I'm like, guys, that's not what we put on tape. That's not what we that's not the standard. That's not the standard. And when the standard's not met, I get upset. When I forget to push a button on the podcast, or I forget a whole segment that I plan, or I go way long, you don't get happy. I don't sit there and clap and go, wow, my numbers are up. I go, dang it, how do I make the show better? How do I get more likes and engagements? The 200 likes per show are awesome. Thank you. I want more. The Lions offense should definitely want more. It was bad. Come on, guys. Don't you want to watch good football? Don't you want to watch touchdown JMO, touchdown Laporta, touchdown Gibbs? That's way better from that perspective. Like I said, I'm a defensive guy, so I love that. So let's go. Hendon Hooker sees the team down. Let's go. Pick it up, guys. Let's get after it. Second team offense. Let's go. 4 and out. Great job, Hendon Hooker. 4 and out. He scrambled, got a yard. A couple passes to Kennedy and Shane Zylstra, 4th and 1. And then, oops, third team offensive line. Mason Miller flinches. Hut! Right tackle flinches, 5 yards. Now, the third team defensive line got after it too. Keith Cooper pressured Hooker's throw. The series was over. But ceremonially, because they need tape, and like I said, I would just have it be real. You don't get the down, you lose the game. Boo, game over, you lost. But it's ceremonial. They get another opportunity. He connected with Jackson Meeks. 83 got targeted in the continuation of the drive. Meeks got open. Hooker couldn't connect with him. They tried Mr. 18, Isaac Tesla, in the end zone, but Tyson Russell was there getting after it on back-to-back plays, being competitive, and he got safety help too. So that's what happened. It wasn't great from the competitive periods on offense. On defense, oh my goodness, praise the defense. Let's go. We give the time for the offense. Now we give the time for the defense. Derek Barnes playing well, reading and recognizing. Alex Anzalone moving well. Jack Campbell leading the troop quietly. And Amik Robertson said into the camera yesterday, "Don't you dare poke Jack Campbell. You piss off Jack Campbell, you're going to talk trash," because I think a TV reporter asked, "You guys are talking a lot of junk out there in the secondary." He's like, "Oh yeah, we definitely talk junk. We don't shy away." And he's like, "Jack too. Don't poke Jack." He's like, basically, if you're playing the Lions defense, don't poke the bear. Per Amik Robertson. So yeah, I wouldn't be poking the Detroit Lions defense because they're going to come to hurt you. Don't poke Jack Campbell, Brian Branch. Oh my goodness. Did they come to play today? And it was good for me. Great question. Let's go through the notes here. I think I can do it off the top of my head, but I do have them written down. Let me check my observations too, because you go through the section so fast, I forget what I plopped down. The first team, left tackle, 59. Left tackle, first offensive line. 59, left tackle. 73, left guard. 60, center. 69, right guard. 58, right tackle. So you know that Manu's assessment is going to be that it wasn't good enough. Not good enough in any capacity. Oh, yeah, it wasn't good enough. I can share my notes here. I just came through because it comes down from the bottom to the top. On the third team offensive line, it was 63, 75, 65 as a center, 62, and 76. Let me see here. 60. That's one combination. Let me see here about the numbers here. 2 to 83. That was the second team at one period with Hendon Hooker. 63, the right tackle. 75, the right guard. 65, the center. 62, the left guard. 76, the left tackle. And sorry, I do numbers. There's no way I can connect the names live in person. So again, 63, 75, 65, going from the right side to the left. 62 is the left guard, and 76 is the left tackle, the new guy. That's what it was on the second team. And I did take a note here on the third at some point. I'll get to it. So, and it's tough. Like, I can identify 4 spots along the offensive line. My eyes do not ever want to see the right tackle. Ever. Because I see from the left tackle all the way to the right guard. And then I'm always like this, trying to figure out who the hell is the left tackle, because then they get bundled up, and I'm like, good God, and you're trying to write down the play, who's in coverage, and you got the fans cheering for me. I'm like, gosh darn it. It's a lot of info. I told Dustin too, I said, man, you see why it's tough? He saw me writing the notes. He's like, oh, I'm so sorry I'm taking you away. I'm like, come on, man. I'll get the info. Don't worry. I'll figure it out. It was humbling. It was nice. He's like, oh, man, I'm sorry. I'm like, nah, don't worry about it. A couple run plays in my notes won't hurt the observations. I go, bro, I got enough. I got enough to write 5,000 words every single day. And my brain is so scrambled with all this information. But I think I gave you the first and second team. I'll try my best to check in right now with the notes with the third team. So defense, clear advantage. Brian Branch, supreme knowledge. Avonte Maddox, veteran, doing his thing. Amik Robertson, he's in the zone. He told us, he's like, the game's slowing down, and they're using a tool, a new tool since 2018. It's pretty sweet. You can hear about it only at Lines on SI. It's pretty sweet. I got some knowledge. Tyrion Arnold, Rocky Sin, Colby Sorsdahl, Taylor Decker. A couple others shared with me a tool the Lions are using, technology, to help simulate football. It's pretty sweet, guys. It's pretty sweet. The defense has a clear advantage. Now, the opportunities that the defense has to build off of this is great. You guys remember too, the starting defense is good. It's the depth you got to be concerned about. Cornerback, linebacker, the starters, guys, be by the hype. The defense is going to be good. Bend, don't break. It's going to get after it. There's a lot to get after. Think about it. These guys are also continuing their growth from last year with AG. It's a similar system, but with more disguised pressures from different spots. And that's the intended that's how you help the offensive line grow. Yeah, they may collapse today, but they'll grow quickly. Manu will get some valuable experience. Mahogany, valued experience. So remember that poor offensive execution, there is time to resolve this moving forward. And hey, and guys, you guys have heard of this before. The dog days of camp, when you have a day in front of you that could be a lighter day, travel day, you're just not going to be on point every time. But the defense has been consistently making plays, getting after it. They have the clear advantage because Morton's probably trying to test new things out, throwing the ball deep, trying to get the deep connection, getting after it. So they're trying things. So now there were opportunities at times, where Goff connected with Laporta and Wright. But those were, like I said, a lot of short intermediate passes. The quick passing game is there. You can get open, you can get after it. But crunch time moments did not favor the Lions today, the Lions offense. And so let's praise the defense a little bit. Now, you clearly know today you're going to read that the offense wasn't that great. You're going to read it from me and everybody else. So there's no Doc being negative. That's the facts. The real facts first from Doc. Offense wasn't good. Defense was on point. But here's what's the advantage. This is next level. This is basically, graduate level defense. Calvin Shepard's running Aaron Glenn's defense, but with some more pressure. It's the same defense, guys. So they're in the books. They understand. They're competitive. They want to get after it. And they got the captain back. They got Anso back. So look at it from this perspective. Remember the starting, when these guys are healthy, look at the starters. Again, I can say it off the top of my head. Base 4-man front. Unbelievable. Aiden Hutchinson, Tyleek Williams, DJ Reader, Marcus Davenport. That's a base 4-man front that you can handle on most days. 2 cornerbacks, DJ Reed, Tyrion Arnold. Take that all day. Nickel corner, Amik Robertson. He's a dog. Nice individual, humble with his time, and very entertaining to talk to. Would I say into the microphone what I'm thinking about his movie choices? Maybe at the end in the lighter moments. I know you guys are liking the steak. I want to empty the notebook before I critique Amik's movie stuff right now, because he went soft on the movies. My goodness, into the camera? My man, keep that stuff private. But I want to empty the notebook for you guys out here and give you my opinions. Safeties, Kirby Joseph, Brian Branch. You're not going to assemble a defense that much better. Linebackers, Jack Campbell at the will. Alex Anzalone at the mic. Middle linebacker. And the Sam, Derek Barnes, can get on the edge anytime he wants and get after it. Healthy. Oh, my goodness. I like that. I could watch that all day. Oh, my goodness. Let me in that room. Let me fire him up. Me and Calvin screaming louder. Who screams louder? I love defense. I love watching that. I love watching the pressure, the ability of Jack Campbell to manipulate and get after it and run stride for stride. Sometimes he gets beat by a running back, but he's still willing to get after it. The battle with, I love seeing, my favorite routes are when Laporta gets out there in the middle and Jack's trailing him. Oh my goodness. It's fun to watch. So it's all good. So, and again, I apologize for the short pauses. Working in the NFL, your phone just blows up nonstop. A lot of off the record stuff, inappropriate for air. A lot of people message me, man. It's fun. It's fun when you meet a lot of people and you can talk ball, and when it's not really official stuff. One day I'll air it out. Be like, all the stuff people were texting me when I was doing my podcast. So the defense has a clear advantage. Who would yell louder, Doc or Calvin Shepard? We'd get after it. Be like, hell yeah, pop his helmet off every play. I don't care. I need another warning. Maurice, it's been a week. You haven't gotten a warning. Up the physicality. Doc, you can't tell these guys to practice like that. Hell, I can't. It's defense. I love it. I would be a defensive coordinator. I have an offensive coordinator heart and passion, but I got a defensive coordinator's love of thirst of violence and hitting. Pop that helmet off. Big hits. Urlacher, Spielman. That's what I love. I love watching it. I love watching defense. And because it's the hardest thing in the world, they don't let you play defense. They don't let you. It's like, can't hit, can't grab, can't pressure, can't do press man, can't tuck junk to the receivers. Can't spit on the receivers anymore. I mean, come on. But I loved it. If you love defense, now, definitely I love execution. I love entertainment. And I like seeing J-Mo flex a little bit. But from a defensive perspective, cheer the defense. That was my ending message today. Cheer the defense, boo the offense. All right, let's get to some of your comments, clean some of this up. Joe Mo Lion King. Doc, are they having joint practices next week? Absolutely. And it's more fun for me. A colleague from Miami is coming to town. AP, my humble journalistic moral compass, is coming to town. Coming to tune me up. Doc, don't write it like this. Remember, you got to check all the things, Doc. I'll be like, yes. And I'll be like, hey, is your podcast any more entertaining? I'm falling asleep, man. AP's coming to town, my guy. We're going to have a good time. We're going to grab dinner. We're going to have a good time. And he's going to and he's going to be my other set of eyes, because finally I get a colleague I can talk to and be like, hey, AP, hit the defense. I'll get this field. You get that field. And we'll compare notes over some drinks. And I'll say this, part of the reason why you go so hard is you develop these cool relationships. And I developed one with the Miami Dolphins reporter where we can debrief a little bit, talk the business, talk about how much NFL content that there is and how I'm entertaining and he's not, and how my page has a lot of viewers and he's trying to be like me and I'm trying to be like him. But I have so much respect for him. He's a veteran of the game. So in the end, he knows that I respect him humbly, deeply. I can't wait. I'm excited. I'm genuinely excited for him to come to town. He's going to watch the Lions, probably reunite with Dan. He'll probably get an interview with Dan Campbell before me. He'll be like, hey, AP, what's going on? I'll be like, yeah, Dan, don't talk to me like that. So I love it. Joint practices next Wednesday and Thursday ahead of the Saturday game, I believe. Boom, 10:30. Yeah. I think the schedule's out there, I think, because it's a game with fans. It's a practice with fans and all these rules. But let's just say in between the hours of 10 and 11 at the halfway point, if I'm not supposed to say the time. Sorry. Today, I want to give credit to security. They did their job. I'll share that at the end, too. Credit to security. But it's funny as heck. Credit to security. They found the 5'3" Mediterranean guy standing on the field doing his job. Congratulations. Steven, Doc, for all the people who love the pass rush, can you tell me who is the Sam backer that can provide rush after Barnes? Is that Rodrigo? I think Nowatzki is regressing. That's a good question. That is a good question for us to monitor. It's not there yet to determine who's consistently doing it, because after the first team, you go, okay, who's going to be that guy? Rodrigo, man, that injury was tough. Man, that's a great question. I don't know at this point what that Sam linebacker would be tasked with rushing, because they don't know if they could do it at the level that Derek Barnes does. You know, on the edge, you like Nate Lynn, you like Mitchell Agude, Al-Quadin Muhammad. So there's opportunities. But you're right. Nowatzki, I think, is developing, but yeah, you just realize I think there's a certain ceiling that he'll reach. That's a great question. One to watch for the future. Who's behind Barnes that can execute? I think you have a lot of reliable, tacklers and in coverage, but who can rush the passer? Always looking for those. Great question, Stephen. But no answer yet in terms of who I think I'm confident that could do it without leaving their responsibilities in coverage and everything like that. Kiera, thank you. Shout out. I have some information, but I'm gonna have to tell you to. I got it in my phone. It's in my audio file. He spoke for a long time. I had a topic specific driven question I need to ask him. He spoke about it. Let's just say Doc says Dak. I was gonna say Doc says Dak. All those darn Jerry Jones videos I'm watching with him trying to tell people that he's doing a negotiation on paper. Doc says Decker sooner rather than later in team periods. He told us. Approximately. Check it out, Lions NSI. It'll hit it tonight or tomorrow for sure. No, guys, the sky is not falling, but we just want to. If you are concerned, share it. And I'm not of the opinion to legislate how you feel. If you genuinely have concern about John Morton, share it. But the idea is, by and large, you make mistakes in practice so that you can correct it. If they made no mistakes, then all those exploitations would happen during a game. Rather be now. But yeah, no, I thought the offense would look better today. That's all. Look at it from the perspective of today. Can we extrapolate it out till the games? No, but we'll extrapolate it when they play the Dolphins. So we'll see how it looks. Don Burr did it. we have invited them in, and we have one in our midst. You're welcome here. We have one in our midst. Publicly shared it at 2:22. I'm sorry I missed it, but here it is. Don Burr. We will be fine. We will be just fine. People, calm down. I am not a fan of that take. If you are concerned, there's valid reasons. Now, could you dial it down a notch? Maybe. But if you go out there, you're expecting to see, remember too, these are people that had to wait in line, and some of them were 8,493 in line in the queue. And they're waiting in a half hour, 45 minutes. You're hoping. And you come out there and Jamo's dropping the ball. You want to see a little dancing, a little fun, but it's two sides to the ball. I am not a fan of calm down. Everybody's allowed to react. Meaning, I would suggest, okay, if you're at a 12 level, maybe bring it down to an 8. But it's football. Why are we doing this? Why am I firing up? Listen, I have all afternoon to do whatever I want. I want to do this. I want to talk about it. I'm not happy. The competitive side would say the offense should shine. So the calm down crowd is one in which you could just literally say that for everything. They're 0-1. Let's calm down. They're 0-2. Let's calm down. Started 0-3. Let's calm down. Don, listen, I'm, welcome that take, and you can share it all day long. But that take is not a sports take. That's not for sports fans. Why are you in here watching me yell and get passionate about it? Because we care. Calm down, calm down, calm down. It does nothing. It does nothing. Because in the end, calm down, guys. Any team can go 5 decades without winning a Super Bowl. Calm down. Any team can go 60 years without winning a Super Bowl. Calm down, guys. Jared Goff, $50 million. Any quarterback can make $100 million. Calm down. Any quarterback can make $150. Calm down. That's just a lazy thing to say because you don't want to acknowledge the truth. The truth is the offense stunk. Now, you can handle it. It's not that bad. Doc didn't rock the apple cart. And if you can't handle it, hit my comments. I'm trained to help you to manage it. Because then I would divert you as a psychologist to say, well, let's focus on some positives. One of their starting left tackles, all pro caliber Taylor Decker, likely is going to return. Let's see how they look against the Miami Dolphins. I do believe that Jared Goff We'll have an opportunity maybe to get some more rest, maybe not traveling from the West Coast maybe this week. We'll stay here and actually get after it a little bit more. He'll have a better performance. He won't have some distractions that maybe are taking his diversion away. So I can help you cope. But the calm down crowd for people that do that, it's just not, it doesn't align with sports. It doesn't align. Like, imagine if I just came on here, guys, the offense stunk. All right, see you later. It wasn't that good. I don't care about it. You don't come here to sit and watch that. It doesn't align with sports. Go drink your tea and have your tea and biscuits somewhere else. It doesn't align with that, in my humble opinion. Donnie Burr, I like that though. Calm down, everybody. No, you should. This is the fan base of the Detroit Lions. This is a Super Bowl caliber team. When are you going to have a chance to microanalyze a team that's this good? Probably might be never again. If Aiden takes the deal and Jack and Alex and Laporta and Branch, you start chipping away at who leaves, JMO, you might never again have a year where you can microanalyze a bad practice on August. So go take that to the tea sipping crowd, and we react here, and we react strongly. And then we go home and then drink our tea and then say, okay, I probably was a little bit of an overreactor. But hey, I would always say, as a podcaster, I'd rather overreact than be boring as hell and underreact. Keisha, haven't heard anything about Lopez. How's he looking in camp? Clog in the middle, doing his job, getting better every single day. I like him. I think he provides great depth. So much so that in regards to my banner, when I say the defense has a clear advantage, I think the stock for Broderick Martin is no lower than it is today. Wasn't out there again. You barely write his name down. There's been nothing. There's been nothing. It's unfortunate because that is a drawback. And Dustin Smith asked me a great question. He said, Doc, where are your concerns on this team? I said, I like the starters on offense and defense, both sides. I'm concerned about depth at linebacker. I'm concerned about depth at corner. Clear concern about backup. Those are my concerns. So, yeah, Lopez is doing a great job, does his job, handles his business, clogs the middle, professional. And remember, Doc speaks the truth. And luckily the fans are there, because when I used to write that early on in 2021, be like, Goff is throwing some ducks, you guys would be like, oh my goodness. You'd be like, you're just a hater. I'd be like, this is what I'm seeing. Any other questions about practice? It just wasn't a good day. Shorter practice. Professional. Got after it. All right, let's get to some news. News of the day. And like I said, if you want to hit a super chat question, we'll get right to the front of the line. Hit the like button. Old friend alert. And Ndamukong Suh showed up. Oh my goodness. Guess what, guys? Every single day is a day for me to love the fact that I'm a podcaster. First and foremost, not making it about me. I'm making it about the medium. Podcasting has never been better. Guess who got a credential for his podcast? Mr. Ndamukong Suh. Oh yeah. It's just great for podcasting. He's in media. He's doing a podcast. That probably means he interviewed Dan Campbell or somebody else. The podcast game has never been better, in my humble opinion. Oh my goodness. I love it. It's great. It's great that podcasters are doing their thing. So, Ndamukong Suh attends practice. Old friend of the Detroit Lions. Former first-round pick. A player that really I thought was going to start to identify himself deeply with the city and the organization. But unfortunately, he came in and he already had like a little bit of a sour taste in his mouth based on the perception that the team was going to favor Matthew Stafford. but man, was he rugged. You could argue one of the premier interior defensive linemen. Had a good career in Detroit. Unfortunately, for the narrative, is that he felt like the organization didn't value his services to the degree that he felt was warranted. He felt like all the money was going to be soaked up by Matthew Stafford, that the team should have been built around the defense. And unfortunately, some of his antics on the field were costly at times because it was done in front of everybody. He made noise and he ruffled feathers because of the way in which he approached talking to the media at the time. He just wasn't media friendly. So the perception was that he was gruff and he didn't care about the city and he was more about Ndamukong than the team. I wasn't covering the team back then. I just knew of the vicious guy that I like to watch and was disappointed that he left. But he hadn't been back at Allen Park since 2014. In a decade. Oh, it's nice to see. He's doing his media work. He comes in, he can check out the operation, see what's going on, connect with the city, maybe even make amends if that's the case. If he felt like, hey, you know what, now that I'm retired or moving forward in my career, I can be somebody that can be of service of any kind. And the opportunity that he has potentially to come back and be of some kind of service would be great. So Ndamukong Suh at Allen Park today, it was cool. He did not talk to the media. We were all joking, like, who's going to go up there? Like, I'll go up there. But we all knew that if I would have went up to him, it would have been like, no comment, sir. Thank you. Not doing media. But it would have been great because I would have had at least an intro. I would have been like, hey, I'm John Macaroon. I have a podcast that's affiliated, partnered with SI's NFL media channels. Love to talk to you about your podcast. No better pride for me than to see a former NFL player doing a podcast, because in the end, it just trickles down to the value that I knew in this medium. What a medium, podcasting. Everyone's doing it. Everyone's understanding what the connection that it brings, and it allows outsiders to have voices. Are the Lions signing Ndamukong Suh? You heard it here first. No, they're not. Cartier, Suh at the Lions, what a W. Oh, we're going to get to it. John just got on. What did I miss? Did Jerry sign yet? No, I've been on for an hour. I'm going to go for another 40 minutes or so. You know, what'd you miss? The offense stunk today. It was not good. Something to be concerned about. Now we're hitting the news. So you can rewind. The first 50 minutes is the steak. And then the rest is the news. Simple day. Offense was terrible. Phil, are you still doing crunch time? You know it. 8:45. I'll bring the same energy. Got to be creative because I would have said a lot of the things. But, oh, yeah, we'll talk. Damon Dice, Lions not looking too hot at camp today. Via my perspective and all the fans that watched it, that's the case. Yeah, 8:45 tonight. I'm doing crunch time. We'll have fun. We'll recap everything. And I'll also remind Booner that Aiden Hutchinson does not have a finalized deal yet. I don't know where he got that from. Doc, what do you think about Aiden? I told you what I think about Aiden on your show 4 times. When are you going to believe me? But this guy on the internet told me. What about the guy that has a presence that tells you to your face? When have I steered you wrong? Other than, Alex Anzalone. It wasn't that far off. He got something, but he didn't get more years. No. Mike Barker, Hotmail. The offense was, trying to throw some more deep shots, but there was just a lot of mistiming, a lot of bad offensive line play, a lot of pressures. Aiden versus 59 is never going to be a win for 59. A lot of pressure from Anzalone, Derek Barnes, Kirby Joseph. The offensive line was just, struggling a little bit with the extra pressure and the difficulties there. So it was not a good day. John Hughes, my man. What up, Doc? I'm working on boats and listening to the doc spill the beans. There you go. Shout out to all the boaters out there. Rivertown, St. Clair, great town, St. Clair Shores area. Where are you at, John? That's cool. A lot of great areas to get out there. I wish maybe tomorrow I'll get out there a little bit, take a personal time, but I'll be back tomorrow too. Every day, you'll at least hear me, maybe a shorter one tomorrow. Dominican Sue, let me know what you think of him. Did you know, a lot of people have a polarizing opinion of Ndamukong Suh. Was he a guy that you felt was selfish, or was he a guy that you felt like, man, maybe if we didn't pay Stafford, if we built the defense or found a way to have them coexist? Because it didn't feel like, from the vibes that I get when you talk to people, the tea leaves, didn't feel like Stafford and Suh were symbiotic as team captains. You don't get that vibe. Can't officially say that. I wasn't reporting on the team back then. But the doc would have asked Suh, hey, you jealous that Stafford's taking all the money? How does it feel? In Ndamukong, they gave this quarterback $25 million a year. And you're not going to get that. How do you think it makes me feel? I don't know. That's why I'm asking you. Stephen Baffey. Doc is old school, like Woodward and Bernstein. He checks his sources. Yeah. People talk to me. People like to talk to me. Problem is they won't let me use it. That's the problem. Off the record. Okay, come on. Can I ever use this stuff? No. Let someone else use it. That's fine. But it gives me good background. It also gives me good story ideas too. So you can use off the record kind of stuff to formulate opinions and say things like, hey, someone told me that Graham Glasgow is going to be probably the center. So when I go on an interview, I say, consider Graham Glasgow to be the center. That's why I hope you guys value the things that I say. It's not just coming off the top of my head. It's not coming from a place of ignorance. It's coming from a place of checking in on some things. Now, some things could be wrong. Different people have different information, but you do the best you can. And I'm happy with my hit rate. So far, so good. Woodward and Bernstein. I would not be confused with that. Howard Stern and Pat McAfee and Joe Rogan and Adam Carolla. And who are other great interviewers? People that can just sit down and have great interviewers. And the great sports interviewers of this time. That's what I'd rather be known as a better interviewer. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. Ndamukong Suh, let me know how you feel. I was loving his act. When he was doing that thing, man, that was great for our podcast. It was like, oh, he's kicking people. That's Detroit, baby. Fans didn't like that. I get it. So that's that. He was there. It was cool. Desmond Howard was also there. Check out at Detroit Podcast for the pictures. Now, before practice, Dan dropped the praise for Tyleik Williams, but he also dropped something that was really interesting that you don't typically see at this time of year. I was like, oh, what? I was like, oh, he praised Tyleik Williams. And so before practice, Dan Campbell is formally addressing the media, and people are acknowledging, man, Tyleik Williams had a real strong practice on Monday, the night practice. He was clogging the middle. We see his talent. We see his ability. We see that as a first-round pick, we can see why Brad Holmes, the scouting department, the personnel department, and Dan Campbell were really excited to have this player from Ohio State come in, because of the fact that they knew about Ali McNeil's rehab from an ACL injury. They found a player that they feel like, man, he can stuff the run. Now, Dan then goes on and praises him intently. But unfortunately, there is a comma / more here. He's like, hey, he can set the edge. We see sneaky pressure. We feel like he's got good stop-start, good power, good ability. We feel like he's trending upward. But the headline is, he's trending upward. Tyleik Williams is trending upward. But Dan Campbell says he needs to continue to get in better shape. Uh-oh. What does that mean? And you know what? It only means one thing. Play in, play out at this level, they see a decline over time, over a practice. That's all it can mean. Get in better shape. You don't hear that too often from a coach about a player. And he said, with more reps, he'll get in better shape. Now, clearly, there was a day he missed personally. He did get talked to early in his career about the consistent standard. So what does that mean? There's a standard on every play. You know your assignment. You know what you're expected to do. But darn it, those practices are hot. It's muggy out there. And so even for me, just on a small level, I miss a play or two because I'm just like wiping sweat from my brow. I'm hot. But for Tyleek, I haven't seen it to that degree. But as a coach, all you can speculate off of that is on film, Dan seeing at times, maybe over the course of a long practice, by the 1.5 to 2 hour mark, maybe he sees a dip in play, and he don't want that. Get in better shape. When Dan says that publicly, you know they're seeing something on film in practice that they don't like. Leadership. Speak up, and if that's the case, that's the case. Get in better shape. Your coach is telling you right directly. It's not for me. I'm not seeing that. I see somebody that's getting after it. But you know what that means? That's a high standard. Every single play, do your job to the fullest degree. That's Detroit Lions standard. Good, but it's not good enough. Good is not good enough anymore. I love that standard. I wish you would have said that. Good in Detroit is not good enough anymore. And that's why the calm down crowd is silly. Good guys, a good practice is not good enough. Why aren't they having elite practice? Elite teams have elite practices. Good is not good enough anymore. Dan Campbell tells the first round pick coming off of a Monday night practice, get yourself in better shape. Oh my. You know, you hear that. There's no way you loaf or you have down periods in a rep or two because they see it. The eye in the sky sees everything, and Dan Campbell's watching, and he ain't going to accept that. Because he'll say it out publicly. He'll call you out. I need him in better shape. More reps will do that. So that tells me you better be playing on Friday. More reps against some good competition. You play 30 reps. Get out there. Get in better shape. Damon Dice. Doc is killing it on his podcast. I'm a subscriber. No, you guys are killing it. You make it fun to do this. The 400 people, up the likes. Keep going. Like and subscribe. Super chats. Get your question seen by the masses. Damon, that really means a lot, man. Thank you. I'm humbled when people say, hey, I get to see you live. It means a lot. Thank you to those in the comments that have been so nice and gracious for us doing the time and talking about the Lions and doing things in a great way. I appreciate it to be compared to those that have done this for decades. Just bringing you guys inside information from how I see it, from a fan's perspective, from a former season ticket holder's perspective who invested a lot of money and got no return out of it, other than a little drive to recoup some of those investments and to cover an NFL team with great perspective from the long-suffering fans. Dan Campbell, Tyleek Williams, get in better shape. Right into the camera. I was like, wow. Now, here's the problem, though. Someone heard that. And that someone was Brad Holmes. And Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell says that at 8:14, and Brad Holmes is on the radio at 8:51. Man, we love Tyleek Williams. He came in great shape. Yeah, he came in great shape, but the head coach is looking on the field and saying he's not in great shape. Brad tried to clean that up. Brad, we are all master's level up in this bit. Brad, we're all master's level up at practice. I got a master's degree. I almost swore. I should just let it rip, but I'm trying to be ad friendly, as they say on this YouTube thing. I got a master's degree. Dan's the coach. You're the GM. Dan's like, get in better shape. Brad's like, he came in great shape. We love him. Great shape. That was the first thing out of his mouth. Oh, tell us about Tyleek Williams in front of the audience. Oh, man, he came in great shape. We just came in great shape. Great shape. I think he just should have said that 4 times because you know the rule of 3. He came in great shape. Great shape. Boy, did he come in great shape. Like, you're not going to erase what Dan Campbell said. We all heard it. Like, it's not even me reacting. Dan said it into a live microphone. I need him in better shape. What do you want me to take from that? Yeah, and so when my guy Christian, I laughed. He's like, "What did you make of what Dan said?" And that's what's great is that we can analyze these things. I'm like, that's what I just told the audience. I just said, "Hey, I feel like then what that means is that on tape, given a practice, he sees a little decline on certain plays here and there. And he doesn't like that from a first-round pick. No coach is going to like that. Dan is all effort all the time. He don't care about your standing. This play, do your job and do it well. No loafing. Now, to the degree, there was a lot of positivity too. So don't hyper-focus on the better shape part, but it was said. So it needs to happen. Brett Holmes tried to clean that up. That was funny. I love when they try and do that. Like, we didn't hear Dan say that. So Dan's looking on the field and it's like, oh man, something's up. Rep here, we need to clean up. Brad's like, we love Tyleik Williams. He came in great, amazing shape, best shape of his life. Tyleik came in such great shape. Miggy called me and said, my goodness, Tyleik Williams is in the best shape ever. He's working hard. That would have been funny. Oh my goodness. Miguel Cabrera's like, I really like that Tyleik, man. It looks like he's in great shape. Doc, keep the heat on Booner from Damon. Thank you so much. Appreciate the time you spent for the hour. Get after it, man. Hop in, check out the end if you need to. A lot of the newsy type stuff of the day of what Brad Holmes said. I really do appreciate your comments. It's awesome. So let's monitor. That would indicate to me I need to see Tate Ratledge and I need to see Tyleik Williams play on Friday. Not much. First quarter. Get in there. Get in some reps. Get in some runs. Stuff the run a little bit against the Falcons and get after it. Play the rookies. Couple series, couple drives. That's it. Couple series, couple drives, and working towards getting in better shape. Now, Brad also talked about Alex Anzalone. And it was a great interview, guys. Go check it out, 97.1. Great radio station. I messaged and I talked to the one guy from Central, the second, because Christian's there too. They have some good guys at Central. Not a lot. The whole operation there at Central, in my opinion, is, and I'm biased, scummy cheaters. People can just show up on their sideline and not have their credential checked. Whereas the doc gets on the field with his own self-described credential, and security's like, and I'm counting numbers, and I'm doing my work, looking professional. They're like, excuse me, sir, can you show us your credential again? I'm like, what? I'll share that story. It was funny. But actually, doing your job, I like it. I'd rather be double-checked. But people are watching my tweets, which is funny. I feel bad, man. You gave an intern a job to watch my tweets. Oh my God, I'm sorry. I apologize humbly. I didn't know. Because they referenced it. The interns came up and were like, we're going to get you a new badge. I'm like, what? Off of what? Off of this my X account's nonsense. It's just me talking junk. They tried to get the boy. They tried to get your boy. They tried to get your boy. I'm like, hey, I got a badge. Yeah, I scribbled all over it and wrote my own stuff in it. They almost got your boy. The fake doc trying to get on the field for the 15th day in a row in the hot sun. But let me tell you, Brad let it slip a little bit too, got comfortable. Brad Holmes on the ticket, the team's flagship, is like, man, Alex is getting a little long in the tooth. The contract in the situation, we're happy we got it done. We're able to take care of it. Our linebacker's getting a little old, but we took care of it, and it's strictly football business. Now, he did sprinkle in hey, we still value him. He did the whole PR thing. But how are you, as a GM, going to say he's getting long in the tooth? Whoo! Brad keeps it real. And he keeps it real live, too. You can't knock. And now, clearly, Alex knows it. He knows that the organization views him as the old man on the block. The old man on the block, they got a contract that just got a little bit more guaranteed money, 6.25 guaranteed opportunity to make 7. I asked him directly, man to man, said, hey, do you get more peace of mind? He's like, he kind of brushed it off like, come on, Doc. You know how I feel. I'm not going to say it to all these cameras. He wants more. Brad Holmes said, this is football business. Manned up and said it right into the microphone. That's what it is. Business. It's the last year. Alex has to earn it. and Alex is playing for a new deal, whether it be with the Lions or somebody else. And Alex knows, because I said to him, I said, hey, does this give you a little bit more motivation to work hard to show the Lions or another team what you're about? And he's like, listen, every year that you're on a contract year, you got to prove it. And I feel like he didn't want to have to prove it because he's already done a lot of things over the last 4 years. And you can tell that Alex got treated like the NFL business that it is. The cold-hearted facts. You're 31. The replacement's here. They can go cheaper in the draft. And Alex knows it, and the Lions know it. Oh, man, did Brad say it. Long in the tooth, our linebacker. But he did the necessary praise and said, our guy, Alex, look, we still value him, still a valued member of the team. We're happy to have him. I'm happy to have that situation over. Brad's like, here's a crumb. Here's 6.25. Take it, and this is what you got. You play under the contract that you signed. We'll give you a little raise, but you're not getting an extension. It's gutsy. But Alex knows, and it's uncomfortable to the degree that Alex knows the organization is looking to move on. Point blank. My man, Easy. What's going down? I don't understand the concept of the Hutch rule. You can tell me. Little nuances maybe I don't pick up on. Is there really a Hutch rule? Yeah, you can check out Easy. And what's the Hutch rule is if he comes down, barreling down on you, get out of the way. Oh, my goodness. 59 was having problems there all day. Hutch, man. Whew. I could put his name in 97. You could put his name in every single takeaway. It's just great. So Brad Holmes discussed Alex Anzalone. We all talked to him. You'll hear reports. Alex is professional, but you know it's one of those deals. And I actually was glad to talk to him today because it's nice to see that, hey, we all know the deal. I wanted a contract. I didn't get it. I'm still well paid. I'm still part of the team for this year, but it's not to the degree that it's not to the degree that he's fully happy in the situation that he's in. So I look at it and I look at, oh, my man here. I understand what you're writing about in the observations. I was wondering, oh, okay. Now I got it from both sides here. Yeah, I said that. I said that earlier where Hutch is so dominant that I didn't call it the Hutch rule, that he's in the backfield so much. I'm like, what are you guys talking about? Hutch rule. Basically, in the end, what's being talked about from Easy, and it's similar to what happened in practice where the Lions failed on 4th down but kept the drive going. The Hutchinson's in the backfield so much, disrupting the play, and in a practice where there's no tackling, he could touch number 5 and the play should be over, but the play is allowed to continue. It happens every practice. It's not a Hutch. I mean, I'll call it the Hutch rule. It's an observation that we say that Hutch is so dominant that he's in the backfield quite a bit. Like I said, to start the podcast, the defense had the advantage. It's just, that's what it is. That's what it is. Yeah, and it's happened all the time. Like if there's a play in a practice, what happens is Goff can't get hit. Goff can't get rocked. Now, if he would, oh my, Hutchinson would have, Kristen would have accused Hutch of cheating with Goff because he would have been on top of him every almost 4 or 5 times a practice. But what happens is that and that makes it tough too when you're analyzing, is that Hutch is back there like basically he's going like this, waving. He's by the quarterback. The play continues. So we all documented as sacks. We, as media, will just say, is that a sack? Yeah. But basically, all you got to say is Hutch is dominant. Like I've said throughout every podcast, Hutch is crushing it. You can call it now the Hutch rule. Hutch is disruptive so much that, yeah, and it's similar to what I said in regards to the situational drill. By the law of football, the Lions were stopped, but they kept going, and that makes it hard sometimes to report. So we try to be delicate in our explanation of that. Like by rule, the Lions went 4 downs and were stopped by the defense, but they kept going and pretending like they were still down 4 and still marching down the field. There's a lot of that, and that's the hardest part of the job. Is like, okay, that doesn't make any football sense. 4th down. J-Mo dropped the ball. The defense should be on the field. Oh, let's keep going. And you're like, what? How do I report that? But you try your best. But yeah, Hutch rule. So fun times. Yeah, Hutch is crushing it. But yeah, that's just kind of the descriptive. You jog my memory there. I was like, what's the Hutch rule? I was thinking, the Hutch rule by definition of how you said it. I was thinking, the Hutch rule, Manu can't touch Hutch at all. Because that's what it looked like. I don't even think Manu got his hands on. I'm just kidding. Manu got abused. We're going to talk about that, I think, right now. And hey, guys, let me shout out my guy too. He's highlighted my work. We have a good time. I always laugh. Easy and Spenny, the heavyweights, Woodward Sports, young guns crushing it. 5 to 7. It's a delicate time. I humbly apologize. I'd never like to decline, but that time is always a little bit rough too, with dinner, family, other stuff going on. But I'll be back. Easy. A no yes means 3. A no now means 3 yeses later. Subscribe to the MFR Doc. Absolutely. Love the guys. Heavyweights. They're fun to watch. They're entertaining. They bring the truth. Good guys. Good guests, too. When I need a good nap, I also turn them on. Just kidding. What's the update on Zadarius Smith? Brad talked about Zadarius Smith in an obvious way in which I've said, which also, too, I think if I yell it louder, people will hear it. I'm like, well, Doc, why do you go on 7, 8 interviews? Well, because sometimes the stuff I say, people go, yeah, and then they tune it out, and then they ask the same question, and then when someone else says, they go, oh, yeah. What's the update on Zadarius Smith? It's the same update that's been provided by myself and anybody that's rationally reporting on Zadarius Smith. Here's what's the scoop. Zadarius doesn't want to come to training camp. He's in a relationship. He's having the summer of fun with Cash Doll, and he wants to leverage the best position. He's a vet. He knows this. Also, he wants to leverage the best position possible. What does leverage mean? How do I make the most money? It's not, hey, you give me an offer and I just take it. Leverage means if there's a team that has an injury, now I have 2 teams that I can say, hey, Brad, you're offering me 6. I got an offer for 6.5. Can you match it? Leverage. High-level negotiation. Zadarius Smith is a commodity, and a commodity that's wanted. He can sack the quarterback. Why would you come to training camp in the middle of the heat in Detroit when you can be on a boat, having a good time, playing Woodward Sports, playing the Doc on a podcast? Why would you do that? You wouldn't. So what's the update on Zadarius Smith? The update is that the Lions still have interest in a veteran who can sack the quarterback, but they put out an offer, and most likely he's sitting on it and waiting until he can see if there's another opportunity that could also best interest him. And also, he's waiting until the calendar hits the end of August. So no workouts have to take place in the heat, no extra time when he could be on vacation. So Brad Holmes indicated that sometimes these things take a minute. There's 2 sides. Zadarius is a player that we've been in contact with. They know the standing. They know basically what's going on. Zadarius wants X. And the Lions maybe want to give a little bit less in Y in regards to their contract. Now, could they bridge that gap potentially by the end of the year? Well, by the end of training camp? Yes, that could happen. That could happen. And it could end up being Zadarius Smith being here. But right now, Zadarius has all the leverage. Teams can call him. There's multiple teams that could be interested in him. It's training camp. He's having fun. He doesn't need to be here. All things I've said previously were just reiterated for the most part by Brad Holmes on the radio. That's the update. What are the odds they need him? It's a good addition. It's a good addition for any group to have additional depth along the defensive line. It's a solid player that knows your system, that would bring a spark, and a lot of people want to see it. Hey, help the development of Ahmed Hassanin, be somebody that can spell Marcus Davenport when needed. It'd be an asset. Now, you wouldn't put the Lions over the hump to be a Super Bowl contender because you got Zadarius Smith, but that's what's going on. What's the update? The same update that you've heard from my voice every single time I've been asked about it. Multiple times. Leverage. Waiting. Zadarius has all the cards. And who the heck is crazy besides me and the heavyweights and people that are content creators that love the Lions and are sick and are watching all this? Who else would not be in a pool right now? Drinking, or in Mexico, or in Greece, or in Italy. Not in the hot sun watching Detroit Lions football. Not Zadarius Smith. He's like, I'll be in the south of France, and Brad, I'll hit you up when I feel like I need to hit you up. That's the deal. So it's going to be one of those deals where when the time comes, late August, and the rosters start to take more shape, as more games take place, rosters will take shape, and Zadarius Smith will find his avenue. Could it be with the Lions? I still think there's a decent chance he ends up here. It's comfortable, and we have the bonus. Guys, it's undefeated. I've said it into the microphone. His lady is from here, has connections here. Zadarius, come on. Take the lesser offer. Get after it. She's trying. Zadarius is like, hey, let me handle the negotiation, me and my agent. Let me handle it. Eventually, the power of persuasion is very powerful. See how those emphasize with the P? All things great, emphasize with the P. The power of persuasion should be able to hit Zadarius Smith. It's undefeated. The power of positive persuasion. You reading what I'm saying? He's coming to Detroit. If you sick in the head and think like me. The power of positive persuasion. 3 P's. One I didn't say. Puts it in the right perspective that Zadarius Smith could be here. The power of persuasion would indicate, if he's still with Cash Doll, and I'm not up to speed on his love life, not currently, then the power of positive persuasion puts it into perspective that Zadarius Smith could end up being here. That's a lot of P. Man, I'm smart. You guys know that, right? Man, am I smart. Hit your last minute questions. I got about 5 minutes left. Thank you guys. This 90 minutes flew by. You guys are the power of positive persuasion for the doc. Broski Bears. Zadarius Smith has been on tour all offseason with his rapper girlfriend. He's not locked in anymore. He's not saving the Lions. Questionable at best defensive lineman. Do you even want him? Exactly. Can never assume. Drop it in the comments. Do you still want Zadarius Smith? Are you still clamoring for him? 500, 450 so of you live tuning in. Let me know. Do you still want Zadarius Smith on this roster? Hit the likes, hit the notifications. Let me know. Am I wrong? Is he not going to succumb to the power of positive persuasion? I think he ends up being a Lion. It makes sense. It fits. If they're in contact with him, they know what he wants. Look at that. You formally inviting me? Let me see. 3:30, 5:30. Hit me up. Maybe. You have to formally invite me, but this is a great way to get invited. Fellas. 5:30 I think is good. But the content schedule, I got to run through it all and all that good stuff. I can actually go through it right now. So that's my humble opinion on what's going on. No insider information, but it makes sense. Doc, just a fan. Doc, great info, energy, and podcast. Absolutely. Thank you, guys. Someone asked me this again. Phil Bach, good question. Hey, Doc, what about Bryce Perkins? I just think that I said this when about the Teddy Bridgewater situation. I think they're going to give him the full evaluation, guys. Sorry. Kyle Allen and Hendon Hooker get the whole training camp. 3 games more, and then they'll decide. Could be. We'll see. I would think too that you don't want a similar style as Hendon because you want somebody that, in my opinion, they're developing them, but I don't know for what purpose. The Lions offense is set up to run. They could probably do it to have more movement and stuff like that, but it would probably lend more toward Carson Wentz to be a prototypical passer that's kind of similar to Goff. That's why they got Kyle Allen. I think Hendon's got a spot as being the only mobile guy on the roster. Kyle can move it around a little bit, but I think the best solution would be to get more of a prototypical pocket passer. So no on Perkins. P is percolating in the atmosphere at the moment. Oh, man. So that's what I'm thinking. I think that they would maybe go toward a more veteran type individual with more playoff experience. It's good to have a mobile guy to help your defense prep, though. Of course. But that's Hendon Hooker. How many you need? They probably use somebody else, too, on the roster. Look at that. Live booking, most likely. Send me a DM and we'll get after it. I think it's pretty much a certainty. You'll see me tonight at 5:30. Shinola, representing the people. I think someone asked me this yesterday. How many watches do I have? This one's for the country. This is the Habibi edition Shinola. Look it up. It's cool. The Habibi edition. Arabic dial. Blue dial. The Habibi edition. 1 of 500. You know me. I'm a consumer. And I know the people. So the Shinola Habibi edition. Blue dial. Sweet watch. Does the job. The Shinola brand I rep. For the hits, Doc, is it even a possibility to get Z and Judon? And would you see Detroit making a move like that? I don't think both. I think it's familiarity. You did all the work on Zadarius Smith. Like I said, you did all the work. It just there's information missing. Is there another team that's going to get in the mix to get his services? If there is, then he'll take. Listen, guys, it's a business. I know we all think about loyalty and we think about his relationship and the impact that could have. But in the end, it's dollars and cents. Who pays him the most will get his services. It might be the Lions. If nobody else, if leverage dips to the Lions, you might end up seeing them. All right, guys. 90 minutes in the books. My goodness, did that fly by. Again, to highlight everything, big news day from Brad Holmes talking on the radio. Offense was terrible. Defense was dominant, blitzing. Hutch is disruptive, like always. Put it in the book, 97 in the books. Doing his job. That's what happened. That's what you're going to read about. Lots of good information, lots of good features. Check out Lions NSI. I know you keep it in your coverage. Check out the Lions Lone Wolves podcast every single day. Insider information. You get direct access to the guy covering the team. Got 120 seconds. Get your questions in fast. For the hits, Habibi, we appreciate you as always. Keep cool out there. No doubt about it. Absolutely. I rep Detroit. All Detroit teams, all Detroit brands. And one, in my 40s now, I also represent a Swiss brand that is just amazingly classy. Invite me to a suit and tie event. I'll show up classy. Not only can I get in the mud and talk about the power of positive persuasion and perspective, I can also rock a tux and headline an event and be a motivational speaker. You know what that is? That's range. And there's no way better to end than that. I'm the Doc, John Macaroon. Thank you humbly for listening in for the last 90 minutes. I truly, truly appreciate the likes, the comments, the invites. It means the world to me. You'll see more of me. Check me out across the internet. The virus is spreading, and it's spreading maybe more out of control than it needs to. Let's see what happens. At Detroit Podcast, si.com/NFL/Lions, Detroit Lions Lone Wolves Podcast. Potent power of persuasion. Keep it all in perspective. Let's go. Let's talk tomorrow.